You okay, Jamada?
No, I'm disappointed in you. Just start the pre-show. Just
Me?
no. Yeah.
Okay, of all people, London United versus Domino is going to be the fourth game of the day. I have no idea what happened, by the way, guys. And Domino are one of the teams that is looking to secure their place. I'm going to keep saying this all night because it is real, it is true. And Domino cannot afford to lose versus London United. If they do so, they put themselves in a weird position. And even though we heard from Rising Dawn that they will not lose versus Domino, if Domino wins today, and even though they might lose on Thursday, things will be awkward, and then we need the foldy.
Yeah. And
Why don't you do a foldy, Jamada?
I don't know how to work Excel.
Well, I don't even know how to read the foldy, so yeah, can't be me.
It's pretty
I cannot say this one live though.
All right, I can't say verbatim what our producer just said in our ears, but the TLDR was, he said, "Thank God you're both good at League of Legends," which isn't even factually true, to be fair. But thank you, Reed, for the confidence. Anyway, Champions Select on the screen. Domino, they need to win this game, especially when you take into consideration that Rising Dawn and Unique both lost their games. Moving up to a 9-6 standard would really put them in a very solid position, all things considered, especially because they have, a losing head-to-head with Rate, potentially a losing head-to-head with Domino, depending on how things go. They definitely need to get this win on the board against a team who is effectively, not even effectively, they are locked in for relegations. Chances are Guap just need one more win, and Guap, of course, I believe, are playing London United in their final game of the split. So for London United, chance of getting out of relegation still there, not mathematically locked in, but against Domino here tomorrow against Lightside, it's gonna be tough. The road to redemption has to start right here. Domino, different story, like we said. You need this win to try and lock in playoffs.
Yumi gets removed. I'm happy with that one, but there are a lot of other champions that are still open to debate. We've seen some nerfs on Zazeri. It doesn't matter on Division 1. Division 2, it seems like people are deviating from that champion a lot. But one that has been getting some light and constantly, it is the Kalista Renata. Both of them are available for grabs if Domino wants to take that secure lane, but it's Hellman, so I don't know.
Yeah, and one thing I'm definitely very surprised about is the almost complete absence of Aphelios today. Especially considering how strong he is. I mean, actually, for confirmation, are we on 12? 12
we should be on 12.12b. That's the patch we should be in.
Pretty sure that is definitely the patch where Aphelios is buffed. It could have even been 12.12 anyway. So, yeah. Very surprised to not see him get locked in today. Maybe I eat my words and London United lock it in themselves. But they've been more of a Zeri team compared to an Aphelios team, to be honest.
Corki.
Corki's being hovered. Will he lock it in? He does. So, right next to it, Zeri, double poke. Even if it's into Seraphine, I think it's really potent. And then you almost guarantee yourself a very hard scaling team composition where you can just get a counter pick top side, maybe play through that, use it as a bridge. Very strong game plan that can often work out, especially once you can start to contest the Herald. If you can keep it alive till 10 minutes and have Corki sync up the package with that, could be good. Jungle though, Wukong, first one of the day. Still a very strong champion, just of course been hit with a couple of nerfs.
Finally, we get to see that Wukong. He has been missing on the light today. Will we get that Corki with the shield bow yet again? That's my question for you, Jamada. I know you're really excited to see that one, to get yet another Corki with the shield bow. But that depends on the enemy team as well. If they want to go for something more bruiser-ish, and it's hard to go by, well, that's the reply that we always get lately. It is a Silas versus the Corki, but not only that, but they can steal away that Wukong. Now you have to be really careful of what ultimates you can bring into the table, but also just giving power to Zero that is now going to pick either the jungle, since you have the Wukong on the other side, or you can just secure the rest of the bot lane. That would be an immense possibility for them.
Yeah, I think, jungle, probably the only thing you've not shown, so would have probably been the smartest thing to do to not show any cards, but Domino want to pick up the Gnar now, try and deny it away, in the sense of, I guess, actually, no, picking up here just kind of feels weird, because if you have London pick it up, then you just kind of get to steal away the Gnar, if you want to send Spuda top lane on the Silas, so just blinding it here, giving London the opportunity to counter pick it, definitely a bit of a head scratcher, but they feel like it's a strong enough champion that it deserves this prior, and you definitely see this quite frequently as well. in some of the major regions. But London United are just going full poke, like sit back, double tier, spike at 2 items from these bottom lane, from the mid lane, and I expect Bedry will get a pretty strong counter pick. We'll see what Domino try and ban away, but I remember Bedry from all the way back, and I believe it was 2019 UKLC when he came into the scene originally, and this guy was an absolute machine in many top lane matchups. Of course, you've seen him play, I think, jungle, mid now, back in his native, I think now, role, or at the very least, the role that he came into competitive with, and we'll see what he can get done. Ashe, though, taken off the table. I think it's honestly a bit strange to ban ADs here from London United's perspective, because Seraphine can always, flex into, like, both roles. So I feel like the more guaranteed thing is just take away Porcupine champs, right? But it seems like they're not really interested in that. Aatrox will be taken off the table for Bedry. Very, very strong at that champion. Of course, Aatrox can be a bit of a nuisance for Nah. It goes a bit 50-50, but definitely a matchup which Aatrox can feel very comfortable in. And I expect to see another counter pick into that Nah taken off the table. But for now, I guess London United maybe just looking at AD carries that they don't want to have to deal with for the Ezreal. But again, with that Seraphine being that flexible pick that is, it's kind of a weird ban path to go down. They eventually swap over to taking away Porcupine's Trundle at the very least, so they will hit on the champion pool just a touch.
Some last ban should be on the top lane as well, or maybe they want to deviate from that and to the bot side if there's any sort of support they don't want to deal with for Domino, as they're taking their sweet time to look into this last one. Another champion that could make it, maybe, well, the GP is out, the Aatrox as well. It's going to be for the support. Okay. We've seen the Renata, a lot of safety, and if you're talking about just disengaging and poking away, well, Renata could be helpful with that ultimate. There's a lot of options still for this London United team that wants to poke away, just as you said. Let's see if they're going to follow that plan through. They were the victims of that plan in previous weeks, so they know how to pilot this one because they were piloted against. It's going to be the Poppy. So you stop the Silas, you stop the Nod, and whatever follows through.
Okay, very interesting. Going for more of a frontline approach from Bedry, it seems like. Of course, technically Poppy could still be flexed towards the bottom side, but it's really matchup dependent. If Snobby goes something like Nautilus, then sure, but we'll have to see, because again, it could still be Snobby piloting the Seraphine. I think that's a very, very viable thing for him to do. But Porcupine gonna get his hands onto this Zin's out. I think it makes a lot of sense. Loads of ranged champions. Try and get up in the Wukong's face early on. Try and interrupt the very safe laning of Ezreal and Corki. See what we can get done with your Silas set up in the mid lane as well. Last pick here. We're going to finally have this Seraphine revealed in terms of the flex. Is it going support? Is it going into Hellman's hands? I mean, hell, we've actually seen even silent support technically, but I'm not going to get too semantic. The Aphelios being hovered and is finally going to get locked in for the first time to date. Very, very strong individually as a champion after these buffs, but of course, it's always kind of been picked into Ezreal. It feels like Ezreal can't really contest the early laning phase of the Aphelios, which in its own right, Aphelios' laning phase, not necessarily the strongest, but can certainly get things done. And it seems like Bozzy hovering over the Braum would be a bit of a self-counter pick pre-6, but after 6 you can always block the Encore as long as you're in front of everybody, so you can understand the mentality there. But Domino lock in their composition on their side. A lot of safe scaling, Seraphine, Bruisers, Aphelios, everything kind of comes together after a couple of irons, but you can say the exact same thing for London United. Double tier scaling in the bottom lane and the mid lane. Top side of the map, it's actually going to be Wukong top taken in to Nah, it seems like. The Nah, historically been weak into the Wukong just because of the mini Nah form being quite squishy and susceptible to all-ins by the Wukong. And Poppy will be taken up into the jungle. Of course, we've seen a lot of Poppy jungle over the last couple of weeks rise in priority. We'll see what Wooljo can get done on this pick. Very similar comps, they just function slightly different in terms of, what they actually do. More of a poke composition from London United's side, whereas, Domino's is more about that front to back, in my opinion. But they spike on relatively similar items across the board. It's only really the mid lane where Sero should have a strong advantage hitting that one item into Corki, who really does need 2 to get going.
And let's see what the build for Corki is as well. We've seen the first strike and the shield bow coming in. I know your face just sinks in as soon as you think about that situation. But if that happens, I don't know. It's a beefy front line, so we've seen that before today. Might happen yet again on the 4th game of the day. We're talking about a team that is 8-6. If they get their 9 victory, that would help them almost securing playoffs. On the other side, London, well, as you said before, they're automatically right now looking for those relegations. They just need to practice and work together in order to just withstand what is going to happen from third division to second division. Take away that spot. Obviously, they don't want to fall in as we hear the sounds of the Summoner's Rift. And we have the Bird's Eye of the Rift. Welcome back. So far, nothing to point out, but only after the first buy will we get to see what this Corki will evolve into.
Please. Please.
Just that's the way to put it.
Just go poke. Just do it.
It would be helpful, I guess.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I think it would. I think it would be helpful if they need it. They need that AP. They need that AP. Not the way auto attacks, even though it's AP-ish. Because in the end, you convert AD to AP, so it's magic damage. So let's see as we go. It's up to the player. It's up to the team. London United 3-11, not in a good spot throughout the split. A lot of mistakes, changes as well. It's not working as they thought they would.
Yeah, exactly. You know, relegation. It's not mathematically locked in just yet, but it's really looming for London United. They're going to be kicking themselves. They've had quite a few good games, opportunities to take wins here and there. It's just not quite worked out for them, unfortunately. Now they sit 3-11. Of course, loads of different roster shuffles as well. Very commonly, the nature of Division 2. And when you see a team struggling, players coming in and out, and even that in itself, you know, it takes time to then build synergy amongst those new players. We've definitely seen very bright spots and moments from London United. We'll see whether or not they can make some magic work into Domino. Domino, on their end, I think have, in their own right, had a pretty turbulent split. And I think, even though, yes, they sit comfortably at 8 and 6, it's not as comfortable as you actually think when you start to look into who they don't have to head-to-head. The head-to-heads, rather, against. Because they're actually 0-2 against Rate and 0-1 down against Rising Dawn. So a loss on Thursday to them really technically shoved them down in the standings. The only saving grace for them is that they're technically quite 1-1 with Munster at the moment. So even if they end up tied with them, tiebreaker, I believe, is what would be forced. I can't remember the sequence of, you know, sorting out tiebreakers, but we'll see how they get on.
So 2 minutes in, so nothing will happen for the next few minutes unless junglers will be able to step in and bring us a breath of fresh air. On the top side, that's what I want to focus the most. I know it's going for the Wukong. It's supposed to go for the Wukong. But at level 3, it seems like Bertree just allowed Nars to push in. Now he's going to farm comfortable underneath the turret. He's going to try and tie up those those CS numbers as the Nar goes back to get the call. And the wave is not on a good position if you want to freeze it. It's impossible to freeze it right now. It has to be a miracle in order to do it. This is going to be a slow push. Now, will Wolju look for that? I don't think so.
No, I think the wave is a little bit too tough. You'd have to go right now, and I think it's just not quite possible, especially with the vision there.
So but it gives you prio.
It gives you prio, the skull, yeah. But Porcupine's on the bottom side, so it's not necessarily needed. I think Bertree will just look for a base as soon as possible.
It's going to be the engage. There's no flash being wasted right now. Witcher takes a shot and everything. I was expecting the stun against the wall, but it was not a good angle for the Poppy. Not that opportunity wasted.
A little bit of early action, but at the end of the day, it's
and we can talk about mid-game this way. We can talk about what we expect into the mid-game. What do you expect from both teams if they want to play their strengths?
I mean, I think for London United, hitting that 2-iron spike so they can actually start to play poke, set up siege in key objectives and towers are going to be really important. Snubby, a pretty nasty trade there, but we'll be able to sustain back up very slowly. But without much mana, it's going to be a little bit difficult. But I think, yeah, Domino really just want to try and get in front of objectives ASAP and use their poke. Porcupine
He doesn't have the advantage, so stand behind him is going to leave Buzzy really close. One auto attack is all that it takes for the concussive blows to proc, and there it is. But Hellman instantly looking for Rusty Sniper. That's the Inferno. Zero is there, so they get the first blood. But what do they pay in front of this one? They're now alone. The slowdown connects with 2, and Sarge goes ham on that. They lose 1, but the price seems high as Rusty Sniper is going to die for Hellman and Woodrow as well. The chains connect. It seems like it is a disaster. 3 kills out of nowhere. The flash is available. Just run away. Never look back.
Oh,
look back! Killing spree in 1 play.
Oh, that's rough. That's really rough.
We were talking about winning conditions,
just as I was about to set up for London.
Yeah.
Oh man. I mean, let's see. Let's see how they handle this situation. It's a pretty big deficit to be at. So many kills, and all of them went on to Sarah, who has arguably been one of Domino's star players whenever they have been ahead. Rough position. Battery in the top side as well.
It's a level 6, you can fight it. You need a clone with a double cyclone. You can certainly fight this. It's something.
It's something, right? Sheen, broken item. You can see just out combat statted Spooder there. Only had the Cole and Lauren shield. Wins out. A really good job there. The wave crashes though. He's not able to hold a freeze or anything like that. So the wave, it's going to be alright for Spooder. Definitely very awkward timing to actually go down, but have a replay of this bottom side fight. And it's just all kicks off with Porcupine getting caught out in the jungle, trying to go for some counter jungling of his own. London United there to capitalize. They eventually do stun up Porcupine, but it takes a very long time for him to go down. But the key thing is that Zero is on the flank, follows up. Hellman has the Infernum, kind of chunks out a lot of members as well. But that beat drop to clip Rusty Sniper and Sarge. Sarge just feels like he's dead, commits to try to go for a 1-for-1. Knows it's never really going to work, but has to go for something. Rusty Sniper feels like there's nowhere else to run. Decides to try and turn, and Moljo, you know, credit for making it over on the wall. Flash quite far, but Zero hits the mark and finds him with Kingslayer. 3 kills on that Silas. Based 6.5 minutes into the game. Lucidity boots, Lost Chapter, and he started with Darksteel, so it's got 6 stacks on it. He is so strong.
It's not even about the gold alone. Yeah, 700 gold advantage, but those stacks, they can turn into a book out of that single play, and that is something to be scared of, especially if you're Sarge, you want to scale into the late game. There's a double tier team with Corky and Ezreal going for the same, so you have to be really careful. I see 2 long swords, but I'm hoping that that's only for the man immune in order to stack it even faster and to get that extra damage and not to count for the mythic.
Me too, Archer.
Yes. This is not what I was expecting, and Sarge is not expecting this gank. It's a 3v1. It's going to be a clean one. Ignite ticks in. Snobby almost gets low, but in the end, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, I mean, look at the guns that Hellman has. Red and white. Can shred through this tower. I'd actually really like to have seen Porcupine just step away from the tower. Let Hellman do his thing. Because he's going to absolutely tear that apart. Sarge has teleport if he wants to redefend. The issue is if he does, he just gets redoed. And this time Snubby will have the Encore to make it work. So he has to just kind of give it up. He's going to have to wait to see whether or not Zinzao shows back up again. But now that he's actually got the rotation from the mid lane, they do go for the teleport. The only issue is Porcupine can actually flank this play if they overextend London United.
He wants to go for Hellman, but even if he gets closer, they're not even there. Encore is going to bring at least Braum, and all of a sudden Porcupine is there to try and counter this away. Sarge gets knocked up, and all of a sudden 2 of them die with an Inferno, and Zero's looking for the book, and there you go. Another stack bites the dust. 8 stacks on the Dark Seal. It's going downhill and pretty fast.
Yes, it is. I mean, Zero, he shows up second to the play 2 times in a row, but his impact, his movement is what makes the difference both times around. Buzzy just kind of over-eager to try and get that play going. And London United fall further and further behind off the back of this skirmish, which breaks out. It's hard, really, to say what London United need to do. So I feel like the obvious answer is just chill out, you know? Don't really have to go for these over-aggressive plays. Yes, Domino are making plays, but cross-map them. You have a really strong top-side matchup. Go see if you can abuse it 1-to-1. 2 versus 2. Take down Spuda. Give Battery a lead. It just feels more like they're just playing into Domino's hands, playing around, the Aphelios lane, trying to shut it down when you don't have the kind of lane to shut it down. And Zero, time and time again with Porcupine, just coming in and making more impact.
Try to slow down the game. Maybe that's exactly what they need as well. Essence River is already completed in favor of a Sniper. The tier is stacking nicely. Sarge can now do the same now with that item. The call. 33 minions still away. 67 alone. That's not what you want to see. He's getting on those boots now to run away a little bit faster from Zero, which is the issue right now. He is exactly the issue to deal with if you're from London United. As a jungler on the Poppy, it's a complicated game if you want to appear yet again on this game. There's not a single lane that you can go into because your control of vision is mostly around the dragon. If you want to go for the bottom lane gank, you need to be aware of where Silas is.
Yeah, because Sarah, time and time again, has just made those movements. And now he also has the Everfrost. It's just going to add to his all-in threat. It's so spooky. And Domino, I think the only thing that London have going for them is the fact that Domino haven't picked up that early dragon. London United, but expect that to start to be stacked up very soon. In the mid lane, Sarah really strong. I think if London United decide to try and contest the dragon, they're just going to lose the game. Pending Domino, don't end up throwing this lead. I think if they try and contest the dragon, they're just going to give over more kills, and they're just going to be too far ahead at that point.
And we saw an FT game on the previous one, so lead is not the only thing which should matter on League of Legends. We heard Dracos when we was casting on the LDC and was saying, "Nah, they can possibly lose this one, right? Right? There you go. Sometimes you just lose it. Smile and wave, please. Except everything is fine when you see a Corki with a shield bow. Accept it. There's an amplified zone!
Ah, finally, someone knows how to build Corki. Like,
okay, you're being mean.
No,
being mean.
No. Well, okay, hold on, wait. Okay, so
hey, it's not that bad.
At least, yeah. So our producer in area just said, no, he's gonna go Leandri's. At least Leandri's on occasion can make sense, Like, Shieldbow Corki, I think for the meta that we're in, just objectively doesn't get as much done. That's all.
There's a good way to put it. Doesn't effectively get as much done. It's not that it's bad. It's just it's not as good as You know what I'm saying. I'm trying to be nice. Take it, Jamara. Accept it.
I am. I mean, it's a pretty slow-paced game now that these guys aren't chucking their bodies at each other. So
sometimes League is about that, thinking on what you want to do carefully. It's not only about kills. It's not only about that.
Tell that to the OPL. To be honest,
they have issues.
I
mean, they play the game as it should be. Yeah.
Yeah, no. But I think that's one of the fun parts about watching that league in general. They're just psychopaths, like all of them. They just
I actually love it. Chaos to me is all I need.
There's just no stop button, Like, it's like having a car, and in the driver's side, there's only the acceleration pedal. Like, there is no brake. Hell, there's not even a clutch. Like, it's not even.
I was going to ask about that. Don't we need a clutch?
It's just one pedal. It's accelerate, and if you want to slow down, tough. Like, good luck.
So you're driving NASCAR. Turn left. Oh, there's another left. That's all they have.
Yeah.
Press the pedal and go as fast as possible. Talking about fast, we have pretty much every single mythic confirmed for the Domino. Aside from the top lane, but we know what that's going to transform into. On the other side is pretty much that divine. Then they shift a little bit in terms of items, cheaper items, but they are going to provide reasonable amounts of worthiness to those champions. As it seems like London is just pushing on the mid lane, focusing on the mid lane. They want to open up the map, but looking to the bot side, it's mostly Silas Zero by himself. No one wants to play with that kid anymore. And maybe he can take the turrets.
Yeah, I think he should be able to. It looks pretty low. He's got the teleport to come and join this fight as well if Domino want to contest, which, to be honest, if I was Domino, yeah. All
Yep.
Let's see how
If you
this one
don't take
breaks
the
down.
play to me, I'll be on that play. Welcome me as I am going to flank this one. It's Zero with all that damage, but Wunju is already burning 1 HP away, but they can shut him down. They get it. No, I do not believe this.
Oh,
Spoon
my
now
God.
transforms into a Mega Gnar, doesn't get the ultimate, but the knockup is there. And they had it all, but they couldn't grab it.
No, they could not. Domino, they're just too strong right now. And they pick up the Herald, they win the team fight, and they are just going to continue to mosey on through this game for now. London United, they're just not the item spikes. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. They're not very far away, though, and I think that's definitely something that London can have a little bit of, you know, sufficing, I guess. I think I just used that word completely incorrectly, but you know what? It's the power of having an English accent. Everything normally sounds correct.
Ah, okay, so I only need the accent. It's not about me learning English, it's just getting the accent?
No, if you can get down like a Southern English, like well, not necessarily posh, but you know, posh accent, you're good. You're right. But anyway, replay. You can see Waljo and Beartree kind of in the middle of the whole team of Domino. That's a pretty nice steadfast presence to try and break apart the collapse onto them, but it's not realistically enough, and you can see the CC starts to come down onto Zero. Really great stopwatch, stop him from dying, and that Kingslayer, just about enough to get him back up to, you know, livable HP thresholds. Great flash from Sarge to ignore or get away from Spooder's own ultimate, but yeah, frankly, too much ticking power from the rest of Domino. Get chased down, and now Sarge, gonna be alright. Gonna be able to walk that one off.
He's shooting, but shooting blank, I think. You're facing that, no, blank bullets, right?
Yeah, blank bullets.
Well,
so
he's not dealing any sort of damage, that's what I want to say.
Yeah.
I'm working on my accent still, I don't know if that's the issue, okay.
It's alright.
Wojo on the front line still doesn't have this mythic, so if they want to fight for that dragon, it's going to be a complicated one, but it's mostly now about building up those resists. And even though London are behind, they need to get that mountain. If they want to fight, they need to take down that Silas, and it's not an easy task. They were one step away previously. Just need to get it going.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, it's definitely very plausible, but again, I think key thing is Sarge and Rusty Sniper, they're just not at their core items just yet. If they were just about there, this fight looks entirely different. I know I'm speaking in past tense, but we'll see if they can get something done, because Sarge, he's actually stuck into a pretty decent position here with a package. Well, he has to go all the way around, but look at Porcupine. He's spotting out this flank. And he's going to make sure that Sarge tries to approach him from a frontal angle.
While the dragon's just sitting there, looking menacingly, and look, London are trying to push in the mid lane, making sure they can have advantage on this one. Dragon, 5,000 HP, and Sarge has the package. He can go and flank. He can zone them out. And the fight has started, but it's going way too fast. The jungler is way too low. Smites in to try and run away. He's face tanking the dragon. And then all of a sudden, it's going to be Zero just pushing them away. Hellman goes into the front line. He's the one getting the kill. And even though they did a really good try, it's not enough.
Yeah, that package was excellent from Sarge. Honestly, it split apart the fight. The only issue was he goes in, he can't get out. He just gets bursted down 100-0. And London United not really able to find much else in that fight. Zero could actually... Oh, no. Okay, shut down. That's huge for Beartree.
700 gold out of nowhere for the monkey.
Yeah, that's big. Let's see what he can go back to base and buy. Get a replay of this dragon fight though first. As you can see, Sarge, he's been looking for the flank angle for ages. Waljo gets in. 4-man package, but the issue is he just gets one shot on the return. Waljo knocks away some of the frontliners. It leaves these squishies available for the pickings for London United, but it's just that excellent beat drop with Hellman having the Infernum. Takes down Buzzy. London United just don't really have an in. It's really frustrating for them because that engage did look half bad, but no follow-up, no, feasible follow-up on the package. Just means that there is no way to win that team fight.
They're getting behind a little bit. It's complicated at this point. 12-4. It's still only 5,000 gold. It's not that big of a lead. The problem is the lead is on specific champions that are really complicated to deal with. If you look into this game, the Silas and the Corki are at the same. I don't know how, but they're on the same gold, probably because of all the plates. I guess. I think that's the only reasonable way why you should
but
be.
wait. But all of the towers on Domino are like full HP.
Can we look into the mid lane? Can we look into the mid lane? I think he got at least 4 turrets.
Did he get
4 plates? Yeah.
Those plates?
I think he got. That's the only way I see him getting tight in terms of gold.
But like, even if he did, it's 2 kills worth of gold. Huh?
Except Bear Tree runs away from the Nard. This is not a good fight for you. He pops in the Cyclone, but he doesn't have the.
Oh. Did we just? Okay, we just lost Archer. I'm on the play-by-play now. Bear Tree actually turned that one around, and he's gonna decoy away very briefly. Porcupine should be able to run him down though at the very least. But look across the map because in the mid lane, United are gonna pick up that tier 1 at the very least. They're gonna move towards Zero. Could even maybe look towards the Baron. I think it'll be a little bit over eager. Both top laners have teleport. Okay, Bear Tree is really on a mission at the moment as we actually get an in-game pause, which I guess, in a way, kind of saves me from having to do play-by-play. But I am temporarily by myself, I suppose. Archer has left us, gone to the Netherrealm. So that leaves us, just you and I, chat. How's how are things going? How have the games been for you? I hope they've been all right. The thing is, I'm asking these questions on like a 3.5 minute delay, unfortunately. But this game so far, definitely been a bit of a frustrating one for London United. I think that going for some of those overforce plays, it really has just come to bite them in the backside. But at the very least, they've made it to 2 items, and they've also actually made themselves into a position where they are item parry for now. Despite being down 5,000 gold, they're almost the item parry across the board. So one thing I always like to talk about when it comes to gold leads is sometimes they can be a little bit deceptive in terms of a lot of, what do you call it? a lot of item costs and such. So London United, look at their items, right? Manamune, cheaper. Everfrost, Zonya's also very cheap, and it's kind of why you see Sarge and Zero both at item parry. Hellman and Rusty Sniper, however, very expensive items on Hellman's side, whereas not so expensive items on Rusty Sniper. So they're actually even with each other as far as item completions go. And item completions are the most important things for champion strength. Most of the time, there are Sound Asterisk to it. But just as a form of update, I believe teams are having issues with communications, as are we. So I don't think it's much a hidden secret that we do use Discord to communicate. I think the teams are also having the exact same problem now. Yes. I have Archer reconnected.
I was able to get back.
Hello. Welcome.
Yeah. I was not expecting this, but welcome back, everyone. Sadly, just as you were saying, I think you were pointing out that the program is not working as intended, and I believe every single team is going for that one as well. But it seems like I'm back, so maybe they're back. It's only for specific people. It seems like you were immune, which at least makes me happy due to the fact that the viewers were not lonely for that long.
Yeah.
Good job,
we're out of the break. And of course, no, I mean, I always enjoy sitting down with a good old Twitch chat, 3.5 minutes delay, and just self-podcasting. Yeah, it's great.
I'm still waiting for you to bring a topic to the podcast. You promised me a podcast, and so far I have none.
Huh? Did I promise? Did I promise though? That's the
No, okay. It was not Asha. I promised. No. You just said you want a podcast. Let's bring a topic, and you were going to bring the topic, and never again.
That's my bad.
You think I forget?
No, you're like an elephant.
Well, that's a way to night school.
What? Have you not heard? Do you not know about?
I know. I'm just
okay. Just making sure.
Well, I lost track of the game.
What did you think I was killing? What did you think I was calling you by calling you an elephant?
I'm not native, so that is my excuse to everything. That is my excuse to everything in life. So, Death Stance and Divine Thunder on the top side. It seems like Bear 3 is in a really good position to try and help London United, not only on the split push, but also on team fights. Navi getting beat up, even though he brought in the Moonstone, so sustain is... Well, Sarge doesn't have that sort of sustain.
No. Almost has the damage. Oh my god. See, look at that.
Instantly.
Oh, there's your Oh my god.
Oh.
I demand a replay. I want to know how close it was to hitting him. I want to know how close it was to hitting him. I demand the replay. Holy moly. That was...
Okay, there's the replay. We need to see
no,
how
replay.
close it
There's
was.
a dragon fight though. There's a dragon fight. We can't replay now. We can't.
Okay.
Okay. Domino, they're in the river first. I'm sorry for screaming like a girl, but
Hey,
Domino,
it happens.
they're on top of this dragon, and they're gonna get it really quickly. London United, they're gonna have to just take the fight off the fact.
It's a mega knot. You can't fight that one. You can't even walk into it. So bring in the replay. Give it to me.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think they're gonna fight. Question mark. So
Nah,
yeah, that's
they're not. Bear 3?
right.
Nah.
Right. Teams be good.
Behave.
Okay, so Cero, he's just strong, isn't he? Like, let's not mince any words. He deals a whole bunch of damage at the moment, and he just runs down Sarge. Knows that he can't walk this out, so teleports. And look at this, immediate response from Rusty Sniper to get this ultimate down, and it's on point because it's the standing still target. In range. Look,
slow. Oh no, it's way too close.
You're kidding.
I would be triggered. That was a really good reply from Rusty Sniper.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
My god.
No, that's what makes Zero. I think too fast, too quick. Yeah, you can't catch him.
I mean, really good hands from Cero though, right? To just immediately like insta teleport after knowing it's just good game sense to do it so fast. But I mean, even in that breath, really good from Rusty Sniper to just immediately be looking up there and ensure that he's...
Half a second later, he would be dead.
Yeah, just probably click the minimap, right? Teleport to the tier 2. Like, he was not focused on where he teleported as long as he got out to his side of the map. Really great play. Domino, long ago, stopped this dragon stack. So London United don't even have that to lean on. But I will say, scaling, it's slowly starting to creep in. But, is the gold lead going to be enough? We'll see. I think when they also have, a Felios BT with a Seraphine with 2 items, 25 minutes into the game, it's just going to be tough to play these fights. But if they can find the targets, burst them down, it's good.
56 minutes in, 2 minutes for the next objective, which I believe is going to be in favor of Domino if they can control that zone of the map. Buzzy aware, Porcupine is there, Sarge is there as well. He has the damage. The big one is there. Porcupine now running away. The Crash and Guard is available. He buys enough time with a stopwatch. It's going in. He's going for the stun. Porcupine way too low, but out of a sudden, here comes the Seraphine with the shield, with the heal. He flashes over the wall. He look into the back line. It's only one man with some chains trying to make a difference, but he makes himself a living target. And out of a sudden, London United are looking. They're prowling. They fancy it. Porcupine stun as well. The one that started it all will be the last one to die as the shutdown comes in clean. And London United may claim for themselves the better Jamada.
Say the S word with me. Say the dirty S word. Scaling. Soup. What? What?
I'm not native.
God damn it. London United, the scaling's online there, and I just feel like the target selection from Domino wasn't as up to par as it could have been. I feel like the fight in general, I mean, it starts with Pokemon kind of getting caught out as it is. We'll get a replay immediately just to get the breakdown because Porcupine on the red, but he just doesn't have any business being here.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. And starts to get caught out. Zero steals away the Bromo and does a pretty decent job of trying to disengage. As the Rusty Sniper's ultimate goes wide. Porcupine with the ultimate eventually buys him a fair amount of time, but in the backline, Zero just kind of goes deep, and I feel like he's kind of got like I'm fed syndrome. But if he was helping deal with Bear Tree and with Waljo, Hellman and the rest of Domino could have come and very easily assisted him with the rest of that team fight. And that split target focus, just from Zero alone, means that all of a sudden, London have the Baron, pick up a bunch of kills, and not only that, they're going to start picking up third items very soon. I mean, right now, Shadow Flame picked up for Sarge, Prowler's Claw available for Rusty Sniper, Tiamat in the inventory on its way, Stopwatch just in case Rusty Sniper gets caught out. They're not behind anymore. They are ahead. They have 3.5 items, 3 items on their core carries. Frontliners also sitting pretty comfortably. Corki also has over 2,000 almost gold lead. No, I can't do maths. 1.5k, 4k. Really okay in this game. They can just take this dragon for free. I think if Domino try and contest it into what is effectively almost full fog of war, they will just lose. Lose really handedly. Hellman no flash. Porcupine no flash. Only Sarah has flash. And I think they recognize the situation they're in. Domino gonna have to give up this dragon. London United take it. It's gonna burn into some of their Baron time. Actually, Baron's only got 1 minute left on it. It doesn't even
Second time
get too much, but
second time we've seen a team with this sort of a lead just let it go. Yet the team that needed the scaling, well, we're popping off now, 29 minutes in. Complicated to come back from this one. So how can you realistically make this still a possibility? They have the upper lead, upper kills, and even though they one dragon behind, it's not that, it's still doable.
Yeah, it's definitely still doable. If Hellman is basing for his Infinity Edge right now, then they're still sat pretty comfortably, and he is. So 3 AM Aphelios, he's ready to fight. He just needs to have the correct gun setup, make sure that Domino are playing around him. But I also think it's very important to play around Snarby. Snarby shields his heals, his CC, play off the Seraphine, play off the Aphelios. They are your late game win conditions now for Domino. Just make sure they're able to do their job. More importantly, you try your best to shut down Rusty Sniper and Sarge in these team fights, putting out poke damage, putting out consistent damage as much as you can. Porcupine caught out underneath the tower.
That's going to be the engaged. Porcupine is no longer there with them, and he finally deals way too much damage. Here comes Sarge. He's needed on the front line. All of a sudden, you see a monkey flying through the skies. Well, that's a perfect disengage, if I might say myself. And this is the difference of a Corki that has poke.
Yeah, I mean, how much more damage does Corki look like he's dealing compared to other games today? I agree, Sarge. Bye-bye. Bad Corki builds.
Bad Corki builds.
Yeah, I don't know. Domino have made a mountain out of a molehill this game. I love United. They have the kind of composition to just sit here and play. I actually think it's really hard for them to lose. In the kind of situation that they're at, Porcupine, second time this game, has given over a kill that he probably shouldn't have.
The team that had the lead and all of a sudden had the throw. Now they're fighting, they're clawing back what they had a few previous minutes ago. 2 minutes before we see what could be the soul in favor of London. The team that is still fighting to get away from relegations. I think there's a shot. It's going to be a complicated one if they want to do it. Domino is the team that should be fighting for playoffs. And making mistakes like this, if they want to be in playoffs, I don't know if they're allowed to. As we heard before in the interview, there's no way they could lose to Domino.
Yeah, true. I mean, given how Domino are playing right now, maybe Pharaoh had a point. I love as well our producer constantly hovering Corki items as he builds pretty much like almost full correct meta build. I think maybe if you were like really trying to, I don't even know what word to use. Like if you were really woke with Corki builds, I hate that I just said that. Maybe instead of Shadow Flame, you'd have a Void Star instead. That's about it. He's got a really good Corki build. There you go. Deals damage. Poke. Boom. No rockets, loads of damage. Really hard to play the game. He's level 16 now as well. He is really, really, really strong. To be fair, so is Hellman. And if Zero gets, you know, onto the back line, he'll also do a fair amount of damage too. Hellman wasn't spotted out on the recall there. Picks up a Last Whisper, and that's really going to help him cut through the frontliners in particular. Even if it's not the Lord Dominic's in full, just that extra 20% armor pen definitely go the distance. And some of these targets have quite a bit of armor. Even Corki has 100 armor right now, so 107. Going to reduce his armor like over 20. Not too shabby.
Now the big fight is towards the dragon. It's 55 seconds. They need to set up, but it seems like Domino are aware that they went back. They want to set up vision around Baron. They think maybe we can give away the dragon, or they're gonna start it spread up. But you have a Poppy. It's kind of complicated to do an objective like that when you have Poppy around the corner.
Yep.
This is why.
That is why. Yeah. All right. Objective reset. Boom. Not much you can do about that. As Sarge teleports to the mid lane with package, and that's Mountain Dragon Soul if London United can pick this one up, and they can really just do a lot to just try and guard off the bottom side of the map here. So look, like, wow, look at that. Corki has the correct build and one-shots people by pressing his R key. Ooh, scary. I swear.
This is just not legal. I'm not saying that I missed this, but he's going for the Mate! That is way too much. That is way too much. Bear on the tree is looking for the Seraphine. She's singing, but that is a panic singing as the package is going to deliver Corki straight up into the support. He runs away with the Valkyrie. Zero is behind, doing 0 damage, if I might say my soul. Oh, Rusty Sniper is way too good at this point. The Mystic shots are landing, and it doesn't matter because Sarge is in control. Sarge is leading the team. And London United will take Domino apart piece by piece.
Domino trip over themselves time and time again, and Bear Tree finds the key engage onto Snub. He's been poked out so much by Sarge. Finds the execution there, and the team fight that unfolds is just too split for Domino to ever consider winning, and it allows Rusty Sniper and Sarge to just put out so much damage. London United, they're gonna keep their dreams of not falling dead last, falling into relegations alive, and pick up a win, go to 4-11. A lot of work to still be done, but a lot of work can still very much get them out of the bottom two. A much needed win, because they lose here. It is, let me just double check. I'm pretty sure that would have just been,
I think it would,
all but locked in relegations. They still technically would have the 1-to-1 head-to-head with Munster, and that's the only team that they can currently tie with. Oh no, Guap, sorry. No.
Guap, yeah,
do they have a 0-2 against Guap? No, they haven't played Guap yet. So they would have to beat Guap. No, who won earlier? It was Guap, right?
Guap won on the first round, yeah.
I have two different things going on in my ear. Who won the first game, Guap or Munster? It was Guap, right?
It was?
Yeah, Munster. Right. So I mucked this up spectacularly. So what? Why are you looking at me like that?
No, I'm just saying that the question that you were answered with was not the same. That was a. We jump into a break and we'll be right back after this one. I'll see you soon, guys. I'll see you soon.